everybody. Welcome to the Vantage Point. We are so excited about today's show. To my right is evangelist Takoya Porter. I was about to call her doctor. Then we have Jennifer Rogers, and we have Krista Dunn. We are the women of the Vantage Point, and we're so pleased that you have joined us on today. We have a hot topic for you today, and we're going to be talking about what do you do when somebody dislikes you without a cause. Now, I was talking to these group of ladies, and we decided as a group. No, here goes Takoya. No, we didn't decide anything. Look, she's already looking and saying, I didn't decide anything.
I just want to hear where this is
going.
She said,
I want to hear where it's going. No, but what do you do when somebody doesn't like you? Do you care? One. Do you take the time out to go find out, what have I done to offend you? Because when they make it obvious that they don't like you, or they've said something to somebody about you, and you know how stuff travels full circle. And people say, I've been around the sun one more time. No, you didn't. We go around the sun all the time. But anyway, but I was going to ask you, what do you do? What is your methodologies? What do you do when somebody does not like you?
I have the privilege of working with a lot of women. And not all the women that I work with do I feel like they necessarily like me.
I'm not talking about feelings. I'm talking about, do you have the proof?
Where's the paperwork? Where's the paperwork?
Yeah, where's the proof?
As I was saying, not all of them like me. And if I base that off of interaction, or if I base that off of treatment, and I will connect treatment with feeling, because how you treat me does affect my feelings.
Yeah.
And again, we always talk about evolving or as we get older.
Yeah.
I say how I handle that today, it depends on the magnitude. I started to say it depends on how I feel that day. Because some days you care more than others. You know, I naturally care for people. You know, I do. So if you don't like me, or if I perceive, or if I know for a fact there's something, I'm gonna ask you, hey, you know, what's going on, or what is this? Because I do want to follow peace with all men, you know. But I've learned that there are some people that make that very difficult.
Yeah.
So you can only do what you can do. You know, if I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, then okay, hey, I can have a conversation and say, hey, what's up? What am I feeling? Or what is going on between us? But I don't do that for everybody, because honestly, it doesn't weigh the same, you know? If I'm in the street or walking or in the mall or something and somebody gives me a face or something, I don't walk up to them and say, hey, why'd you look at me like that, you know? But if I was amongst you guys or some peers or my family or even church and I see there's something there, I will ask, you know? Part of the reason I ask, one, because I care, and two, is because I'm serving you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to serve people that have negative feelings towards you. But I've also learned there's one thing for you not to like me, it's another one for you not to have respect. And I can really move on if you don't like me. But if there's something that's happening that I feel like you don't respect me or you can't hear me and I'm in a position of serving you, that's a different issue for me.
Well, what about you? I'm gonna wait to come back to you, Jenny.
She doesn't care. We know the answer.
We already know the answer.
She doesn't care.
It's not that I don't care. To me, it depends on who the person is.
Yeah, I remember you asked me that.
If my husband doesn't like me, then we got a different conversation. But if it's somebody I don't have a relationship with, I don't know you, and you just don't like me, that's a you problem. What do I do with that, right? What do you want me to do with that? I can't make somebody like that, and then how would I know, right? That feels like a lot of energy that I don't know what to do with all that, right? I don't know what to do with that. If you don't like me, it's okay. People don't like each other. It's okay. Personalities don't mix. That's okay. We do not have to be BFFs. But we can still move on and, like she said, respect each other. I'm totally fine with it. I'm sure there's people out there who don't like me. They haven't told me yet. Maybe they'll just come up to me and tell me I don't like you. Okay, but it's okay. I just feel like people have a right to be around and hang around who they want to be around, and I'm not gonna feel like, oh, you have to like me. You don't. It's okay.
You know something? I had this problem for a while. So like people would not like me. They're like, oh, she wears all that fake hair. She wears those eyelashes. No, seriously.
Do they say that to you, or do people come and tell you that?
Or is that a feeling?
Or is that
No,
you just
both.
making it up?
Okay, listen, I was not
Is that
coming
a
for you about the
feeling,
feeling.
or is
I
that
was,
your
no,
perception?
no, this was
or-
the facts. I heard about it. It came back to me. People was telling me to my face.
And they said what? Tell me what they said, because people
Like-
don't believe that happens. So
Oh,
what did
it
they
happened.
say?
So like when I used to wear like 24, 26-inch weaves, they would say stuff to me. No, seriously. Like, why you got all that hair on your head? You don't need, just like really negative. But then here we are, as the world has accepted the fakeness, like the fake hair and the fake weaves and the eyelashes. And these same people have on the exact same thing that they tried to put me on the cross for. I have a problem with that. And I remind them to myself, you remember how bad you used to treat me? Because I wore this, and you're doing the same thing. Because the truth of the matter is you wanted to do it. But I was bold enough to do it, so you crucified me.
But
But
I mean, they didn't like you, though?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I'm talking about, I can really go there. Or if I do wear my real hair, that ain't all your hair. Try to rub your fingers through your hair. All this kind of, just like petty stuff that if I wasn't a strong-willed individual, they could have broken me. They could have broke. You may be laughing. So nobody ever teased you about your hair, or tried to mess with you about. No, because it happens. As
Not in
women.
my adult life.
Oh, here she go. Not in my adult life. They're not gonna do it to me in my adult life. But in my adult life, I've had that. I've had
think
that.
that's why.
See, but I wouldn't interpret anything you just said as they don't like me necessarily. I guess I need more information to get to the point where I say they don't
guess
like
you
She
me.
need more details. It's details.
She's questioning.
No. Well, look, I'm letting you know, people will dislike you over the most craziest things, and
No,
you'll be
that I
like,
agree.
and
I
you'll be
agree.
like, what does my car have anything to do with you? Or what is where we live? Or whatever the case may be, what they perceive about you, you understand? And you're like, you don't like me? But what have I ever done to you? Like, tell me what I did. I just don't like you.
Then that's not my problem.
You know,
I mean, if they tell you they just don't like you, I get that.
yeah, but you're weird if you do that. If you don't like somebody without a cause, like a real justifiable cause, I didn't mean to step on your shoe, or I didn't mean to say I didn't like. Whatever the case, I don't. If you ask me a question, you like my dress? No. Oh, you hating on what I got? How I'm hating? You asked me. I don't like it. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't care. I know what I'm saying. Because it's people right now disliking me without it. Because I'm like, what have I done?
I just wonder, what are you supposed to do?
I don't do nothing about it no more. I used to stress myself out about
If
it.
somebody does not, because there's just personalities that don't mix, and that's just life, and you just let people just be who they are, and it's okay. It's
People
just
will
okay.
dislike you based off of how other people feel about you. It's
That's
a lot
true.
and you like, I didn't make them like me. Why are you mad at me?
Yeah, but sometimes I think that's just a simple-minded way of thinking.
Of
You know
course
what I
it
mean?
is.
It's just it's very high school. It's giving very high schoolish.
Girl, listen.
I just don't have the energy for that.
I really don't.
Because it's like, you don't like me. Oh, okay. I don't have a problem with you.
'Cause I'ma still
But that's
live how I
not going
live.
to
That's the
change the
truth.
way I treat you. Even if I knew you didn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had people come and say, well, she said such and such about you. My issue was with the person that told me that,
Yeah.
not the person that said it.
Yeah.
So what did you want me to do with that information?
Yes.
How do you want me to move forward now? And then they feel like, oh, well, yeah. So because you probably should have just kept that to yourself.
Yeah, 'cause I
that didn't
don't.
edify me. That didn't help me. So what would you like me to do now? And then the room just gets quiet.
Oh yeah.
Because my issue isn't with the person that said it, the fact they felt comfortable saying it to you, and then you come to say it to me. I always got a problem with the person that comes to give you information that they know is going
Exactly.
to hurt you, because now I know you're not my friend.
Exactly. What do you
Right?
got to say, Takoya? What's your hypothesis?
I mean, I have so many things to say. I wonder how you know so many people don't like you based on, and not just you, but like people would post about all their haters and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm
I
like,
would never.
Who is thinking about you that hard? And
You'd be
how do they convey
surprised.
this information? I would be. No, literally I would be. I
You would be
that.
surprised.
No, I am. I'm always surprised. Seriously, I don't know who's thinking about me because I guess I don't process things through the lens of, oh, they just hate me. Now, do I know there are people who don't like me? Absolutely. But not usually because somebody comes and tells me, because I don't play that either. And I don't do that to people. I don't play that either.
That's right.
You know, I once heard somebody really ragging on somebody in my family. They were ragging on them. We were in the basement of a church. They were talking about them like trash. And they didn't know I was outside the door. So they're bashing this person inside. I'm hearing them with my own ears going in on this person I love. You think I went and told the person I love? Oh, no, because I had that. I had that.
Right.
Wait a minute, but does that go back to the show that we just had about to tell or not to tell?
No.
I think it does, but go ahead.
No, why would I tell them that? Because that would only hurt them.
Yeah.
And there was nothing they needed to add by the time I was done with that person. They didn't need to know how that person felt or anything else. All I could have told them was negative, because that's literally all I listened to this person say. And so because I love this person and because I know you are constantly acting like you do, at that time they were constantly interacting with this person, there was nothing left to say. And the person never needed to know, because I had that. And so if you love me, and people are hating me that much or talking to you about me that much, then what did you say?
Right.
I don't even know why you need to come tell me, because you love me so much, right? Then you handle it. I don't have anything to do with that. So maybe that's why I don't know how many people dislike me. Maybe I've got a good defense team or something. But I mean, there will be some. But I agree, something Crystal said at the beginning, especially relative to ministry, is that and I work with young people, you know, especially the teenagers, you know, those middle school. I love middle school age group. Middle school, high school, though. But at some point, they probably all have hated me for a day or two. So I don't deal with life in terms of, do you like me? You're going to show me respect.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as we can get through the respect, the like might come back. But the respect is where we have to be in terms of us being able to move forward together. So I guess that's how I handle but that's with the people younger than me and the people I don't really know. I agree, it's totally different if it's a person who impacts my world on a regular basis.
I think that everything everybody said was really nice. I'm being honest. I think it's nice. But I do live in the real world. I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just going to talk about me.
Go for it.
And I feel as though there are times when you know people don't like you, like, or they've made it obvious to you, whether verbally or their body language. You know what I'm saying? When you come around, how their whole demeanor changes. Their whole demeanor. So I'm not oblivious to how you feel, but I also know that it's not my problem that you don't like me, and I have been attacked for my eyelashes. I have really been attacked for it. And when we come back
from Gary, you're hearing that accent today.
I love it.
When we come back, it doesn't matter where I was born. You know, when we come back, we're going to talk more about what to do when somebody don't like you. You're watching The Vantage Point.
Your voice is missing to God's ears? I know some of us have prayed and we're wondering, how long should I pray about this? Why should I pray if God already knows? How will I know God is answering? And what do I do when I feel like God's not listening? But God is listening for your voice. It's too quiet in this world for the troubles we have. You have to raise your voice, and God wants to hear from you. It's Too Quiet, a book about prayer. It's designed to answer your prayer questions and build your faith. Visit presstopray.com.
To all of the wonderful women out there who are watching us, we appreciate you. We love you. We are praying for you. We know that you sacrifice for your families, for your children. And so, from the Vantage Point, we just want to say, Happy Mother's Day!
Welcome back to The Vantage Point. Welcome back. You know, I do wish you could hear the in-between conversations, only because I've been told that I always am the one who
Is attacking everybody?
no
Yeah.
I don't draw inside the lines. That's a better way of saying. You know, broken crayons still color. Did you know that? But nevertheless, I want to talk about. We were talking about people before we left. Would you stop so I can concentrate? We were talking about what to do when someone doesn't like you. I do want to talk. I know we gave our little whatever rah-rahs, but I want to talk about the biblical way to handle it. What to do when someone has offended you, because if someone has offended you, there is, and I'm talking to people who live by the faith, by the Word of God. There is a way to handle that. So I'll start with you, Crystal. What does the Bible say in regards to dealing with offense?
So 2 things I want to add to that, because you not liking me and being offended is not the same thing.
Well, let me go back. Let me rephrase myself, because there was an agreement among the panel of that. But I think if someone doesn't like you, there has to have been some type of offense.
Not necessarily.
No, maybe even if they made it up in their head.
So let's, from a woman's standpoint.
Well, you know what? I don't lead a ministry, so maybe.
So,
no.
Have you ever just not liked somebody like that?
you
We just
know.
don't mesh.
Yeah.
I've never not just liked
Okay, well
somebody.
then I have.
I've never just not liked somebody.
Where I'm like, I just don't
That's
really like
weird.
them. No, I just don't really like them. It's just not my appetizer. It's like tasting the food and figuring out I don't want to eat more of that. That's not somebody I really want to be around all the time. It's not that the food has to be bad or trash or nobody else can eat it. It's just I don't want it. So I look at people sometimes similarly in that we didn't mesh.
That scares
and that's
me.
okay. No, because
for
it's
me
okay
not to
for
like
me.
somebody that has never done anything to me, that's scary.
Well, okay, maybe.
So
well,
I don't
I'm
think
defining
it's like
it as
them.
I don't think
meshy.
it's not liking.
Yeah, I'm
Doesn't
not
mean we're
gonna
not
Let her word
mistreating
herself.
I'm just
Let
saying,
her
I don't
say
think
her
it's
own words,
liking
Jenny.
is what she's trying to
No, let
say.
her speak
I
for
think
herself,
what she's
please.
trying to say is there are personalities that I'm not.
I don't mesh.
We are going to have a problem if we stick together. So let me just
However,
separate myself.
But that's
Yeah,
a
so it's
different
not
type
like
of
I
thing.
hate you or something's wrong with you or anything like that. It's just for whatever reason, you and I probably don't mesh. So it's not
okay.
I guess well, I wouldn't even go as far to say as I dislike you. Maybe that's too strong a word. Maybe
I
that's where we
think
get
that's
stuck.
yeah.
But because I don't hate you, I'm not mad at you, but I know we will never be like BFFs. It's just not gonna happen. But
Yeah.
can I love you, respect you? Yeah. But you're not probably gonna be in my world because you
Yeah.
probably don't like me either like that. I know there's some people who don't like things about me. Maybe my personality is too aggressive or too out front or whatever. And that's okay because we have a lot of respect for each other. So we still get along very well, but there's things about me they don't like. And that's okay because there's things about them I don't necessarily like. But I love them and respect them.
Maybe that's not okay. It's just like this. If I see, no, let me quit because she wants me. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me off
I'm
focus.
just sitting here
I know. The
listening
way
to
you're
the
looking
conversation. I
at
didn't say
but
anything.
no, I agree with Takoya said. Right? It's not that she dislikes the person. She's just saying that it's not a meshing together.
Yeah.
There's no commonality there, right? Is that a better word to say?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Versus disliking.
What is the definition of
even
like?
with your
Because I think the
kids,
way that we're
there
using
are
the word
times
like.
my mom said she loved me, but she didn't like me. And I understand that phrasing now.
Yeah, I tell my kids that.
See,
They'll be like,
but it's not you're just trash to me.
Yeah.
It's just you're not meshing with me right now. This ain't working.
There's
Yeah.
a difference between saying I don't like that person versus mistreating them, in my opinion. And I think, again, I'm always going for the details and the definition. I think we have to define what we're saying by a like. If I say I don't like Jenny, that doesn't mean when I see Jenny, I ignore her, I don't talk to her, I make a face at her, I look her up and down.
Well, that's the definition I'm talking about.
Okay,
When a person
so-
say they do not like you and they don't have a cause.
Yeah, but even then, that's still different than an offense to me. Because if women, we have this weird ability to size another woman up, not to like her, to look at her. It's just in us for whatever reason, we can do that. But at the same time, I'm not going to spend my energy chasing down people that don't like me. Because what is the end result? Am I trying to make you like me?
Yeah.
Because then I have a whole nother issue with that, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I'll
not
never
trying
ask
to
you
make
why.
you like me. I think, and that's why I wanted to pause and separate. What are we saying they don't like me versus they're offended? If they don't like me, then that might have something to do with themselves.
That's
Or
true.
like Takoya said, maybe I laugh too much, you know, or maybe I'm too mellow for them, or maybe I'm too direct, and they don't like that about me. That doesn't mean they mistreat me. That doesn't mean we're not sisterly. That doesn't mean they don't love me. They just, you're not my running buddy because that's way too much attention and I don't do that. That's totally fine. I'm not going to go change
That's right.
so that you do like me, you know, because that's not natural, normal,
I mean,
or
I had
realistic.
somebody tell me, you know, after some years, you know, I really didn't like you.
Were you shocked?
No, because I know I'm not for everybody. That's why I'm thinking you can feel however you want to feel. But she said, you know, the more I got to know you,
Yeah.
the more I came to love you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people don't like what they think you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But if you don't grow up enough to go and figure out who that person is,
Yeah.
then you're missing on something amazing. I'm just telling you.
They are,
Because
Jenny.
I'm an amazing friend. But I think
You are.
you know, you kind of put your own self in a box, right?
Yeah.
And that's just something that person needs to deal with. And as we grew in relationship, and I never did anything to her. She said, you never did anything. She said, I was just very intimidated by your personality, and I just, you know, it made me uncomfortable. But I wasn't trying to make her uncomfortable.
Right.
I'm just being me.
Just being you.
So, you know, some people just need to grow up, you know, and that's why you give people space to grow. I'm not going to hold it against you that you said you didn't like me. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm a big girl. I can take it. And I'm not even going to, you know, go against all the times I heard people tell me you was talking about me. I just don't give that energy to that. Because if you didn't say it directly to me, I can't believe that that's true, right? I don't know if it's true. It's hearsay. But you give people space to grow up. And sometimes with women, we just need that space to grow up. And it's not necessarily have anything to do with me doing anything or, you know, I just need to grow up.
See, but I think they're a little out of bounds, like to start talking about you or discouraging somebody else from
Yeah.
being your friend, or
Absolutely.
that to me is different. Just because we don't mesh doesn't mean that you're bad for everybody.
That's true.
That's not fair, and I think that's really mean to
And
do
I've
to
seen
somebody.
that happen, even with like the young people. They decide they don't like this one person, and then all of a sudden, I don't want you to like her, so let me tell you all this, you know.
Yeah,
And just
Weak-minded.
make it a whole thing, and that can really hurt people.
that's not fair.
Depending on who you are. You know, I'm
seen
used to
happen with
not being
adults,
like,
too.
so it's okay. Right?
Yeah.
But for some others, that's hard. You know, that is hard for them to deal with, and that could really scar them.
It's so catty. It's just, I wonder if guys deal with stuff like this.
No.
Because
They
is
do in a
so,
different manner. They
because
do.
it just seems like, you know, we're in our
think they do.
40s still talking about this.
What? No, but
You know, that just makes me go, oh man, it's just such girl stuff.
let me prove my point, right? So, I think, look, I'm using their words. I feel as though if a person doesn't like you, maybe I'm talking about people that don't like you, they'll like you with a supposed cause, that's an offense. Maybe that's the way I'm looking at it, because for you to say you don't like somebody and you have no reason, or if you have a reason and then you don't address it, that's another problem too, especially if you're not dealing with it biblically. Has anybody ever come up to me per se? I've had that like trickling through the years or whatever, but I've never I just don't know when I've done something to somebody. And that's why, and then also, a lot of times you can be playing with somebody and you may think that you're cool like that, and you're really, they may be having one of those days, but if we were always able to joke with each other and then you come out this bag on me, like, why did you such and such, or even go take me to the pastor and them or something like that. Like, it's just like, why would you do, no, because people do that. They do it, you know? But I think that if you're an older, I think anything over the age of maybe 30, 33, if you're disliking somebody, just like you really need some type of help. Like, you need to go talk to somebody. Seriously, because
So then if I take that and we go back to, as you said, how does the Bible say to handle offense? He didn't put an age on that.
well, that's why I was giving. That's why I said I think that at a certain age, because you know people say, well, they're not mature. Wait a minute. we've been dealing, listen, you need to go talk to somebody, because why would you be that upset that, like, people do things deliberately to hurt people and for no reason. Like, you don't like me, oh, I'm going to invite everybody that I know you hang with to something, and we can talk about the invite, uninvite party. People say, I don't care. Yes, you do. But if I know that you're doing it deliberately, you invite everybody that you know that I'm connected to, because you know they're going to tell me some kind of way. I mean, that's a problem. That's just me.
But I think it's the problem with the person using that much energy to exclude you.
Of course.
And that's not really a whole lot you can do about it, but
Of
pray
course.
for them, because they really do have a heart issue.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when people mistreat you, it really says more about them than it does about you. And if somebody's offended you, or you've offended somebody, because I remember you and I had this whole thing where you was mad at me for something, and you wouldn't talk to me, and you was being hateful to me. I came to her and I said, Jess, are we okay?
I wasn't being
Because you was being hateful to me.
Was I going through a divorce?
No. I don't know what you was doing, but it didn't have nothing to do with the way we used to be. So you was going through a divorce before all that.
Was it because you dropped out the show without telling me?
No, it wasn't
okay,
that.
I didn't know which one we were talking
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Well, I
We've
wanna
fallen
know if you're
out
gonna
so
bring
many
this up on
times.
television.
But
You
I
need to
went
be
to you because
specific
if
about
I
what you're
care
doing.
about
Look,
you,
Takoya loves the drama. She loves it.
I'm
Look,
going to do what I have to do to get it straight. So if I know somebody is
Did I
offended
apologize
by me,
to you,
you
or
did eventually. After you told me that it was my fault that you was mad about it. But anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
anyway, I think again there's some growing up to do.
And it's my
Folks
point. You
have
have
to
a
grow up about
problem. If you think it's someone, like, I can't.
I want to say the Bible says in Matthew 5:23,
Yeah, take
therefore
off
thou
your
brother,
chin.
if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remembers that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there therefore thy gift. I can't see it anymore. Before the altar, and go thy way and be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Basically, what it's saying, and aught is anything. It can be anything against them. If you have anything against them, and you recognize, no, not you have anything against them, they have anything against you.
Right.
Yeah.
If you realize your brother has something against you, your first job and our first job as Christian women and young ladies should be to reconcile, because it matters. And I know we keep emphasizing who they are, but who they are is somebody Jesus died for. So whether their proximity to us is close or no, if we know they have a problem with us, then it's time to be reconciled.
As you can see, this was a very interesting conversation. And I feel as though if somebody don't like you, just because, listen here, pray for them, but shake the dust off your feet.
And be reconciled to your brother.
And be reconciled, because that's the whole ministry of Jesus Christ, reconciliation. You are watching The Vantage Point. Stay tuned till next week.